Y'all is Tony Playboy.
All right, let's get into our All-Star predictions for this season. We know the All-Star game is going to happen March 7th. Things are locked. Voting is on the way. Look, the starters will be out about the day before we drop, so on Thursday. The reserves come out on the 23rd after that. So I first and foremost want your East starters.
So I think the East starters are pretty clear-cut. Even though the voting is not complete at this point, we have the preliminary numbers, and there are people who have such large leads that them not being a starter is almost an impossibility.
Mm-hmm.
So you have guys like KD and Giannis who are clear locks. If KD actually plays is more of a question considering the injury stuff he's had here lately with the hamstring.
Yeah.
It makes sense that even if he does come back before the All-Star break, that he would maybe miss the game to preserve his health for the stretch.
I actually have a theory that everybody that has an injury anywhere near it, they're just going to use it as an excuse not to play.
Instant excuse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that you'll have Kyrie and Bradley Beal to fill out the East starters. Those two are the less of a locks, but I think those guys have pretty good chances. Bradley Beal missed the All-Star game last year when he was averaging like 30. And he's averaging 35 now, and I guess it's impossible to deny him. Kyrie's been really, really on fire lately in Brooklyn. Now that he's kind of taken on the two-guard role next to Harden. He missed, I think, a game earlier this week, and I was a little upset with that. Wanted him to play. Not sure.
Did they need him, though?
Well, with no KD, probably.
I'm pretty sure Harden beat the Suns by himself.
Harden is known to do that every now and then, but even, Harden came out and said this past week, there were quotes, or I can't think it was last week or recently, doing the 40 points a night in Houston was tiring. Like, he didn't like it. Well, he says that now. I don't know how true that is, but he did say that.
Let's just not talk about how I told you Harden would be able to fill the role he needed to and not take all the shots.
Fair. He's been balling. I got to give him props. Those are my East starters.
Okay. I'm not too far off from you. I agree that KD and Giannis are locked. The other lock for me is Joel Embiid.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you on that.
Those are the three locks for me. In the front court, I actually think Harden slips in for what he's done. I think people are going to say Harden hasn't had a lot of games in the East or whatever. It doesn't matter because he is James Harden. A, he has the name recognition. B, he has been playing at that level, leading the league in assists, showing off his game in a crazy array. The last one for me, and this is the one that I feel super strongly about, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is an all-star, and not just an all-star, is an all-star starter. He has been having a ridiculous year. And I think he's going to finally kind of get that respect.
Okay.
Last year was Tatum's year. This year is Jaylen Brown's year.
Jaylen has had a couple kind of takeover games this season where he's looked fantastic, where he's looked like his ceiling is as high as Tatum's is, which is not what I thought coming into this season.
While being a much better defender.
I thought that Tatum was going to be the clear superstar, that Brown would be the kind of star who knows his role to really help support him and the rest of the team. But they are more equal than maybe we thought they were coming into this season. I have Brown, Tatum, and Harden as East reserves. I think based on the voting numbers, they're certainly not locks to be starters. I think they are both certainly all-stars, the two young Celtic stars, but I'm not sure that they are starters at this point in the East, given some of the entrenched players at the top, especially in the backcourt.
Okay, I'm with you. In the East reserves, I did also have Tatum, Kyrie, and Beal. I feel like we are on the areas of like, these are the people that will definitely make it in. I think Bam will also make it in. Mm-hmm. And for me, the most surprising all-star this year will be Sabonis. I think he's going to get it. And I think he's going to get it not just more so because of the coaches voting than because of the public voting. Because it's a 50-50 split and how that gets kind of counted up. And I think he's been having a very nice year that people that are studying the game are watching. You know how like 2 years ago, everybody's like, yo, Drew Holiday, y'all got to be paying attention to Drew Holiday. What's going on? Too bad he played in the West. So it's very hard to be an all-star in the West, especially in the backcourt. But Sabonis is in the East. And I think that's actually going to allow him to slip on in because of what the people that are studying the game are watching him do this year.
Okay, I think he may slip in, but I think you know who he makes not make the All-Star game?
Who?
Your boy Levine up in Chicago.
I think Levine is actually going to get snubbed.
Yeah, me too.
100%. He's my most likely snub for the East.
I was even watching something on NBA TV the other day. They were like, oh, or no, it's ESPN. They're like, oh, Levine's so good. And they were like, when Toy does it in the playoffs, I don't want to hear about it. I'm just like, that's
we're
where
11
he's
and 15.
That's where
and
he's
I
at
think
right
that's
now.
why he's not going to get it.
Well, I mean,
we're bad.
Yeah. Yes. But he has played very well. He's probably the reason that you have 11 wins.
100%.
At least probably like 3 or 4 of those.
When he's on the floor, we're like a top 10 offense in the league. When he's off the floor, we're like a bottom 5.
So, yeah, I think he's going to get snubbed out in the East. Talk about snubs also out in the West. I think 2 guards that could make it that are talented enough but will not. Number 1 is Devin Booker.
Ooh, I agree.
It's just dripping in talent. The second, not as clear, doesn't pop, doesn't get the talk kind of radio treatment, De'Aaron Fox, who's been balling in Sacramento this season. He's really made a jump forward in his game.
I think his game says it, but he has very Zach LaVine energy because he plays for the Kings, and the Kings are not all that good. He has very Zach LaVine energy to me, and I think that's going to keep him out. But that's why I think Booker is a snub, because the Suns are doing quite well.
Mm-hmm. And Paul probably gets in.
George?
Chris Paul.
Ooh, I don't think he gets in.
You think he gets snubbed?
I do indeed. I think the starters in the West were obviously Brown, Jokic, Kawhi, Donovan Mitchell for me.
Oh, okay.
Best team in the NBA.
I think the backcourt, I agree with you for the most part.
And then
in the West.
Steph.
Yeah, I think it's finished out with Steph and Luka for me.
Luka might get it just because of the fan favor, but Luka doesn't think he deserves it.
No, and Luka is pretty honest. Even back in the bubble, he was about to get an award for I think most improved player, and he was like, "Don't give me that."
Yeah, he doesn't think he deserves it, and I don't think Luka is an all-star starter this year. He should be a reserve because of what he is doing, and I guess kind of how he solely carries that team, but also just like more impressive than Levine, but also very big, same energy. Your team is not very good.
And we thought they would be based on the bubble performance where, yeah, they lost a few pieces, they lost Curry, etc., but things had kind of clicked a little bit.
I told you, and I told everybody else that Seth Curry trade was terrible for them, and they got fleeced.
Well, I still don't think Seth has missed a free throw this season. He's shooting like 50% from 3 or something ridiculous, and he's shooting over 50% in general from the field.
The Mavs will regret that trade for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
When I was like, am I the only one that thinks that the Mavs lost this trade by miles? And everybody thought I was crazy.
Okay, now let's talk about West reserves. So I actually think AD and Lillard end up as West reserves, despite the star power. The West, of course, we know has a backlog at guard, just a wealth of riches. We just talked about possibly Chris Paul, Devin Booker not making it, Luka not being a starter, and that's with other guys in the mix already in the West. So it's really deep. I have other guys out West, for example, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell as reserves.
I don't think Gobert's going to make it.
You don't think he's going to make it at all?
I think he's going to get snubbed. Nobody wants to see Rudy Gobert in the All-Star game. And you know who's going to destroy him in votes?
Mitchell?
Zion.
Oh, Zion. Now,
Zion.
Here's the thing. I think Zion will not make it just on votes. Actually, I think Zion will get in as an injury replacement for AD.
Okay. I can see that.
I'll talk about that more later when we get down to the RPO. But I think that they should be cautious with AD. I don't think even if he comes back before the break, which I don't think he should, that he would miss the game anyways because of his calf strain / Achilles. We just saw what happened with KD a couple years ago with that. We saw what happened with Clay. We saw what happened with John Wall. You know, some of these players are coming back from that, but you don't want that. If you can avoid it, you can avoid it. And the KD example is the best one because he had the calf strain. He missed some time in the Western Conference Finals and then came back in the finals and popped. Like you could see it pop on camera. I don't think that the Lakers want that for this season, either because AD is going to be a big part of their playoff push, or because, that's just such a visceral, sad moment for your team to see a star player's Achilles pop.
They feel like they're going to be a playoff team no matter what, and you have to just feel like if we have a healthy AD, that's all that matters when the games start to matter. LeBron has been all about that. Like when he used to take time off in the East because he's just like, I got this.
We're going to be in 1 or 2 seed. It don't even matter for the 1 seed anymore. Remember the last year they went to the finals, that 4th year, 2018. He didn't even care.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He was like, we'll be whoever anyways.
It's like, we're going to be a hard out 4 times, no matter who gets home court advantage.
Right.
So I feel the same. I think that I can definitely see the Luka. I mean, Zion gets in because no AD, so Gobert gets the spot that he deserves. But I feel like he's a guy that won't get the fanfare, and a lot of people see what he does defensively, but he doesn't really give you the offensive pop that you think you need. No,
not at all. Wasn't it Shaq who made fun of him?
Yes.
He was like, if you paid me, what was it, like $80 million to get you 11 points? Yeah. That's obviously Shaq. Some of the Shaq-ding stuff has gotten a little, people don't like it as much anymore.
Hey, he said he's too great to hate.
He's accurate on that. He's like, if you get paid that kind of money and you're that talented, especially with his size, you got to be able to put up some points. He should be getting lots of easy buckets that he's just not getting. And so I see it. I think also the unfortunate memory in the back of everybody's mind is last year with COVID, the coughing and touching on the mics. Again,
send that nigga to Atlanta.
I will still say I don't think that Mitchell is completely over that.
Okay. I heard that they're just moving past it.
Yeah, but
they want to win.
Listen.
And they are winning right now, so I feel like he's over it now, but let something get real rough, and it might come up again. The feelings might creep back up, and when you're winning, it solves everything.
So, real quick bonus question.
Okay.
They're bringing back possibly the dunk contest.
I think it's almost guaranteed now.
This year, who do you think wins it?
It depends on who's all going to do it. Like, I feel like we know Aaron Gordon said he's never going to do another one because he got robbed twice.
Yeah, he did. He did, especially the second time.
But, yes, I believe that I feel like he got robbed the first time, too, and I'm like a huge Zach LaVine fan. Because he's a fucking bull. And, like, he came back from that injury, developed into an all-star caliber player as a bull. This is the only bright spot in our franchise right now. Besides,
like 10 years.
No, because we had Jimmy Butler.
Oh, I guess Butler.
And we had D-Rose.
The D-Rose was 10 years ago.
Jimmy Butler was fantastic. We were consistently a playoff team with Jimmy Butler.
He is a leader. He brings teams up.
And he elevates the people around him. But, look, I'm going to say that it's going to be someone that we won't expect. Someone really young, maybe we might get to see.
Should Zion enter?
I don't think he will. I don't think Zion will enter. I don't think Ja will enter. Any of those young guys who have like some injury-esque things, like Ja's coming back from an injury. Zion, we know, is like, Zion actually only has something to lose by joining the contest. So I don't see him. I see like maybe Bridges.
Okay.
Maybe he steals it. We'll see who else decides to come into the mix. Hopefully we'll know and we can like get some like more solid analysis for next episode.
Yeah. So for me, not even like who's going to win it, just like thinking about the experience of watching it. Typically when you watch it on TV, it's in a basketball arena full of fans and players. Obviously that can't happen in the world of COVID. Do you think it's going to be
at halftime of the game?
Yes, but I don't think the game is going to have full attendance. There's not going to be 20,000 people in there.
No, but the players could be spaced around it in a way, and the players could actually vote.
Okay, because I was going to say, it seems like in the past, the fan reaction helped drive some of the scores from the panel. And so I wonder how player scoring
reaction.
Is the scoring different, or could it be different this time around with all the different COVID precautions?
Fan reaction matters, but the front row is always players, and they always give us, at least like as a viewer at home, you're always getting the player reactions and then the judge reactions. So I think as a TV product, it'll be just fine. Maybe that changes the reaction, like the in-house reaction and like the voting, but I feel like as a viewer on the television, it will kind of have the same feel. We know they can already do the shit with the crowd noise. We can see, hopefully we see players' reactions. I don't know. Some players they might not let the players be out there like that. We don't know what they're going to do so far as like COVID protocols. So it has potential, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think they figured out a way to do these things well during COVID somehow. I don't know how, but they did. I'm looking forward to it, despite many players not, like LeBron saying, I will physically be there, but not mentally. So I'm not sure what the quality will look like, because last year's All-Star game, or the last one that we had 2 years ago, was really freaking good. Like, it was actually a good game. And of course,
but they'll still do the same draft.
That's fair.
So the game itself should look a little bit more competitive and interesting in the mixing and matching of people. But like, if the players don't want to be there,
well, at least LeBron definitely doesn't. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, though. We'll have to wait a few weeks, but let us know if you think we've made the right predictions on the All-Star starters for the hashtag NBA All-Star game. And also let us know if you think that someone different will be snubbed and not make the All-Star game. Let us know on Twitter at the Fly Route Pod.